guys doing? Welcome to another show. You're now listening to the Big Talk Radio. Yeah, what's going on, guys? That was John Boy, everybody. John Boy. Actually, he sent me that via email. That's one of the, new intros for the contest I'm having for a new intro for 2014, Debate Talk for You. Hope you guys like that. What's going on, everybody? We're back. It's definitely a big day today. It's Debate Friday. As everybody know, we're officially inside the Lions Den. That's right, guys. We are in the Lions Den. This is where we have the biggest debates in the world. You have to pick the best topics, and we have two contenders debate these topics. Today is going to be a special day. I really appreciate everybody that's listening via phone. I got a number, 646-716-7320. And let me know if you like that John Boy track. Let me know if you like that John Boy track. I actually have his information in the description box. So for those guys who want to go check him out, you can go to reverbnation.com/John Boy. That's reverbnation.com/John Boy. You can also check out the Facebook page. Let me know what you thought about that particular intro. But I'm going to be doing this each and every week as I get the, different music from people all across the globe for the intro. I'm going to play it live in the air so you guys can hear it. And, you guys can let me know what you think about it. Of course, let me know what you think. And like I said, whatever you guys like the most or which one I like the most, so definitely get that cracking for 2014. All right, guys, of course, we're going to go through a few announcements. As usual, send me an email at debatetalkforyou@gmail.com. That's debatetalk4 and the letter u@gmail.com. You go to facebook.com/debatetalkforyou. That's facebook.com/debatetalkforyou. You can download the show via iTunes. Go to the podcast section, type in the search box Debate Talk 4 and the letter U, and you'll see the show pop up absolutely free. You can download this to your PC, your Mac, your laptop, and spread the word about Debate Talk for You. Once again, I highly recommend that you go to iTunes and go to the podcast section. I have it myself on my iPod. After the show is over, it automatically downloads, so you don't have to worry about manually downloading each show. It automatically happens. Once again, go to iTunes.com/Debate Talk for You in the podcast section. You can check us out on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/Debate Talk for You. Got some videos up there to post it up. You can check it out. That's youtube.com/Debate Talk for You. If you want Twitter, you can check me out at Showtime DT4U. That's at Showtime, D as in David, T as in Tom, the number 4, and the letter U. For the first-time listeners out there, welcome to the show, guys. Welcome. I definitely appreciate you guys for being here live on Debate Talk for You. You're tuned into Debate Fridays, but we're officially in Season 3 right now, Debate Talk for You. But check out Season 1 and Season 2. Go to the website, www.blogtalkradio.com/Debate Talk for You. All shows are archived, so you can always go back. You can check out the show at any given time, but you can also download the show. If you notice below the visual screen on the left-hand side, you'll see a link that says download. Once again, below the visual screen on the left-hand side, you'll see a link that says download. This is the easier way for you to download the show on your PC, your Mac, your laptop. Once again, you spread the word about Debate Talk for You. And of course, if you'd like to make a donation, go to the website, Debate Talk for You, donations.webs.com. That's Debate Talk for You, donations.webs.com. All right, guys, my special guest, if you're out there, do me a favor, because we have guys who are listening standing by. Just press the number 1 for me. And then I'll put you on the switchboard. That'll let me know what you guys can hear. Press the number 1 on your phone or on your Skype. Okay, I see you guys now. There you go. Going to get this thing started. All right, guys, what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up the chat room, of course, so you guys can interact with each other. Also, you can interact with me. Let me know what you think about this particular debate. The title of this debate, does the moon govern the Sabbath? Once again, the title of this debate, does the moon govern the Sabbath? And it's definitely an interesting topic. A lot of people have been talking about this via Facebook, via Twitter, Instagram, sending me emails about this particular topic, does the moon govern the Sabbath? I have 2 new contenders here in the Lions Den, 2 new contenders. Basically, I'm looking forward to how the show is going to go now. All right, so let me just introduce my special guests one by one. My first special guest, he's been a member of the group called The Rod of Instruction. You can check them out on YouTube. I type it in the search box, The Rod of Instruction. Also, you can check out the other channel, The Rod of Instruction 315. Once again, that's The Rod of Instruction And the other channel is the Modern Instruction 315. The Modern Instruction is made up of 5 members: Ben Trey, Brother Cav, Sha'ala, and Aaron Clayton. What's going on, guys? He studies at Syracuse University. He got his liberal arts degree. He's been studying the Bible for about 13 months, representing Syracuse, New York. This is Sound Mind. What's going on, brother? How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Shalom, can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound loud and clear, brother. I hear you. Loud and clear. Alright, man, so what's going on, man? Anything you want to tell the world before we get this thing started?
Yeah, I just wanted to tell the world to get your popcorn ready. It's going to be a lovely debate tonight. Should be real good, real edifying. So just get your pens and pads ready. Get your iPhones out, your Android, whatever you take notes on. If you're in the car, you don't take no notes. But for everybody else, just sitting down listening. Hope you have a good show. And thanks for inviting me.
That's right. Appreciate you being here live on the Debate Talk for you. And my next special guest, representing Detroit, Michigan. He's proclaimed to be African Hebrew Israelite, studying for a numerous amount of years. He's a former Pentecostal minister and a gospel musician. You can check him out on Facebook. He's currently taking finals in college, but still, he made the time out to come on Debate Talk for you to debate this topic. And I really appreciate my brother here. This is Yasha Ben Israel. What's going on, brother? I appreciate you, man. What's going on?
Shalom. How you doing? Everything all right?
Yeah, pretty good, man. Pretty good.
I just want to say peace to the family. I had a hard time getting on, but now that I'm here, we can get this thing cracking.
That's right. Anything else you want to let the world know before we get this thing started?
The world, I'll let the world know what they need to know once they get started. That's what needs to be known.
There we go. We're going to get it cracking in a few minutes, my brother. Definitely appreciate you being here on Debate Talk for you. For the first time listeners, of course, we're going to go to the debate format so you guys can know how this particular debate is going to go down. Check out the format. So here we go. Of course, we're going to start off with the opening statement. That's going to be about 15 minutes each. Once we get to the 2-minute mark, you're going to hear this sound. That means there's 2 minutes left of your time. And once we get to the time is totally up, you're going to hear this sound. That means your time is up. After the opening statement, we're going to have a rebuttal. That's going to be 10 minutes each. And after the rebuttal, we're going to have the cross-examination. That's going to be 10 minutes each. Now, each person has prepared several questions to ask one another. Give your opponent ample time to answer questions. However, if the person asking questions is not satisfied with the answer, give him many replies and move on to the next question. The person on the receiving side being asked questions, please save your questions when it's your cross-examination time. No foul language is permitted on Debate Talk for you. That's an automatic disqualification. Please refrain from excess name calling as well. That's another grounds for disqualification. We keep things professional here at Debate Talk for you. Of course, I'm going to do my best to moderate the situation, make sure nobody's speaking over one another. And please speak one person at a time so myself and the listening audience can gain full understanding. I repeat, please speak one person at a time so myself and the listening audience can gain full understanding. After the cross-examination, we're going to have a 5-minute intermission break. After the intermission, we're going to have a second rebuttal. That's going to be 7 minutes each. And after the second rebuttal, that's my favorite part of the show, the public Q&A, where you, the listening audience, will call in with your questions, your comments. I'll dial the number 646-716-7320. That's 646-716-7320. Just in case you guys didn't know, you can also call in via Skype. If you have any issues via phone, you can use the same number, 646-716-7320. Once you call in, you got to press the number 1, and I'll add you to the conversation. Of course, I'm going to ask my listening audience, please show respect to my special guest, as well as special guests show respect to the listening audience. Of course, no foul language permitted by the listening audience as well. That's going to be an automatic disqualification for the people that's out there in the listening audience. So please keep it clean. And of course, keep your comments brief to the high-value callers. And we're going to get this thing started. And after that, it's going to be the final statement. That's going to be 7 minutes each. All right. Well, being that I spoke to both brothers, Brother Yasha is going to actually go first with this particular debate. Once again, we'll get this timer ready. And once again, definitely feel free to call in with your questions. If you know you're going to have a question, you can actually call in right now. If you know you're going to definitely have a question and secure your spot. Once you press the number 1, I'm going to go down in order and receive your questions later on. So if you know you're going to have a question, you can definitely press the number 1, and when it gets to the public Q&A, I'll definitely go down in order and get your questions in a proper manner. All right, guys, so let me get this radio check. Hold on for 1 second.
I have a question for you before. Yes, I have a question for you before we get started. You say that's 2 15-minute sessions, am I correct?
Yep, 2 15 minutes, yep.
All right, we can let it roll.
All right, you got 15 minutes, brother. Go ahead.
I like to go to the book of Isaiah, the 14th chapter and the 7th verse. The 14th chapter and the 12th verse, excuse me. And I'll be reading from the King James Version, and I'll be reading from the Hebrew Tanakh, or the Torah. And I'll be reading and translating from Hebrew, and I'll be using both the English and the Hebrew language and multiple sources around me to be my proof. Okay, when I go to Isaiah, the 14th chapter, starting at verse 12, it reads, "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nation? For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend unto heaven, and I will exalt my throne above the thrones of God, above the stars of God, excuse me. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north." Now, in comparison to the Hebrew scriptures here, right here in the part where it says, I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation, in Hebrew, that reads, Wa'atab Baha Mo'ad. The word Mo'ad there is key there. See, we see and learn here that this word Mo'ad is a mistranslation. I mean, the word Mo'ad in Hebrew actually means to be appointed. You know, an appointed time or a time to be fixed. It does not mean congregation. The congregation is only as a result of the fixed time. In the Strong's Concordance, number 4150, we have the word Mo'ad, which comes from a primitive root called Yawad. This word means by agreement or by appointment, by implication, keyword by implication, to meet or assemble or to agree, to make an appointment, an appointed time, a set time, an appointment, an example of fixed time or season. As we can see here, continually throughout this definition has something to do with time as opposed to the gathering of a people. So we see right here that this term congregation is a mistranslation from the Hebrew word here that we call Moadim or Mo'ad, which actually means to be appointed. So what we find here is that Satan has created a system where he actually wants to be over the Most High God. And what he is doing, he is dealing with the appointed time here, the Mo'ad. See, Satan wants to be over the Most High here. So we go to Genesis, the first chapter. In Hebrew, I'll be reading from the Tanakh here, from this particular passage here. In the Tanakh, the first chapter, in the let's start at verse 16. It says, God made two lights, Yahweh made two lights, the greater light to dominate the day, and the lesser light to dominate the night and the stars. And God set them apart in the expanse of the sky to shine upon the earth, to dominate the day and to dominate the night. Now, what I'm doing here is reading the English side here. If anyone has the King James, they can read what the King James says here. And with the Hebrew version here, where it says in the King, and where it says it should dominate the day and the night, the King James Version says that it shall rule the day and the night. In Hebrew, it says, Lama Mashal Hayom. Lama Mashal Hayom Wa'et Ha-Mo'adim, or Ha-Mo'ad, which basically means to rule. The root word Lama Mashal is Mashal, which means to rule or to govern. If you look in your strong concordance and look up that particular term, you will find that the word Mashal means to govern. Right here in the original Hebrew, it is specifically telling you that it is these rights that are to govern our time. The word Hayom right here, we see Hayom specifically means the day. But the word Yom itself does not literally mean day in Hebrew. It means time. You know, so when it says this shall rule the day, it also says that the sun and the moon, these greater and these lesser lights, shall rule the time. The yom is the time. Then it goes further, it says Ralela, and it shall rule the night as well. The night is Layla. In Hebrew, it means the twisting. If we go further and read further down, we will read how the Most High says that it was for the he used the word thing to let us know the day and the years. Okay? Now, when he says the day and the years in Hebrew, the term day is yom, which means time in Hebrew. Also, years means is the word ashab. And the word is the word for year in Hebrew literally lets us know that the earth shall return, because the same word shub from Hebrew simply means to return. So when we talk about the earth in itself returning, the word year shana, shub, it talks about the returning of the earth around the moon and the sun. You know, the twisting and the turning, the word layla within itself. Now, if we go to the book of Psalms, the 104th chapter, and the 4th verse, the 104th chapter and the 19th verse, I'll get to it. I'm going to it in my particular, in the King James Version here. Psalms 104:19. This here King James Version is a mistranslation. And it lets us know specifically what the Most High wanted us to do. In Psalms 104:19, it says he appointed the moon for the season, and the sun knows it's going down. Now, in Hebrew, it particularly reads, Asa is only 3 words. Asa, Yarah, La-Moadim. 3 words. Now, how did you get all of this out of 3 words? Asa, Yarah, La-Moadim. Asa, in the Strong Concordance, number 6213, the definition for Asa is to do or to make or to advance, to appoint, to have or to take charge of, to govern, to keep, to observe. The word Yarak means the moon. Okay? La is 2 or 4. Moadim is his appointed time or his fixed days or his days of his feast. Okay? So now let's use the Hebrew translation and translate it according to the word Asa, according to the Strong Concordance. Now we can get several different definitions, and so none of them coincide with what goes here in the King James Version. And according to the King James Version, according to the Hebrew version, Asa, Yarah, La-Moadim can be translated as to keep, or to observe the moon appointed time. It can mean to keep the moon for his fixed times. It could mean to govern the moon for his appointed times. It could mean to have or take charge of the moon for his feast days, and it also means to observe the moon for his assembly. Now, when we look at the chapter in the book of Isaiah, where it talks about how Lucifer wanted to set himself above the assembly, we see that the word assembly is moadim, which is its fixed time, not the word for assembly meaning to congregate, because I have 3 Hebrew dictionaries around me right now at the moment, and the word for assembly in Hebrew is kahal. The gathering of the people is kahal. It is not mo'ad. Mo'ad, the only assembly of the mo'ad is for the purpose of to observe the moon feast days that the Most High set apart from the beginning of time. And I'm done.
All right. Once again, you're now listening to Debate Talk Free Radio. The title of this debate: Does the moon govern the Sabbath? Does the moon govern the Sabbath? Once again, the number is 646-716-7320. That's 646-716-7320. I want to thank the international listeners out there that's checking out the Debate Talk for you all across the globe. Some places is nighttime, some places is actually morning time. Once again, I appreciate you guys for tuning in live at Debate Talk for you. We're still in the opening statement part of this debate. So right about now, we're going to go to Sound Mind. We're going to have 15 minutes each, 15 minutes for itself to break down his perspective on this particular topic. We're going to open up his phone line, and then we set the timer, and you can go ahead.
Thank you, John. And once again, thank you for this moment, for listening in. All right, so the topic of the debate tonight is, does the moon govern the Sabbath? And according to my understanding of the scriptures, the moon does not govern the Sabbath. That's my thing. I believe that the Sabbath is every 7th day of the week, according to Yahuwah's calendar. And for the Gregorian calendar, which we are under right now, which will be called Saturday, is also Yahuwah's Sabbath. Because Yahuwah's Sabbath was set up from creation. Yahuwah created the Sabbath for us, as his only begotten Son, Yahushua said, the Sabbath was made for you, and not you, the Sabbath. So, with that being said, I want to go to the book of Genesis. I want to go to the book of Genesis, and I want to go to chapter 1. I want to go to Genesis, chapter 1. And God said, let there be light in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night. And let them be for time, and for seasons, and for days, and years. So as you can see, the light in the heaven is how we tell our time. Alright? Verse 15. And let them be for light in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth, and it was so. And God made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. So as you can see, once again, the stars, sun, and the moon was all created. Verse 18. Let's skip to verse 18. To rule over the day and to rule over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. Verse 19. In the evening and the morning was the 4th day. So, as you can see, the 4th day, God created the moon, the sun, and the stars. Not the Sabbath. Once again, Genesis 1:19. In the evening and the morning was the 4th day. Not the evening and the morning was the Sabbath day. God didn't create the Sabbath yet. He didn't rest yet. But he created the moon, he created the sun, and he created the stars. All in the 4th day. So right here, this is the 4th day of the week. Now, let's go to Genesis chapter 2. Let's see when Yahuwah created the Sabbath. We're going to start at verse 1. Genesis chapter 2:1. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them. And the 7th day, God ended his work which he had made, and he had rested the 7th day from all his work which he had made. So as you can see, in Genesis chapter 1, he made the light, the sun, the moon, all on the 4th day. He didn't rest on the 4th day. I repeat, he did not rest. Again, he did not create the Sabbath on the 4th day. The moon was created on the 4th day. Of course, the lunar Sabbatarians they believe that the moon governs the Sabbath. Well, according to Genesis chapter 1, the moon does not govern the Sabbath. Because since governing the Sabbath, Yahuwah would have rested on the fourth day. Yahuwah did not rest on the fourth day. He continued creation for 2 more days. The fifth day and the sixth day. He continued working. He didn't stop working on the fourth day. He didn't stop after he made the moon. He didn't rest. He didn't say the fourth day would be a Sabbath. Once again, Genesis chapter 2, verse 1. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them. And the seventh day, God ended his work which he had made. And he rested the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because in it he had rested from all his work which he had made. So right here, Yahuwah is giving us a sign. He's giving us a count. He's giving us his Sabbath, the seventh day after he finished all his work. Not the fourth day, not the first day, not the fifth day, but the seventh day. He rested and he sanctified it and set it apart. So according to the lunar Sabbatarians, God's not doing something right. Because according to them, after the moon, you work 6 days and then you rest the seventh day. That will put you on the 11th day. The 11th day of the month so far. But God didn't rest on the 11th day of the month, and he didn't stop to rest on the 4th day of the month. He continued to work the 4th day and rested the 7th day. That is the foundation of which creation is established. 7 days, and the 7th day was rest. Now, let's go to Exodus. Exodus chapter 20. Moment. Exodus chapter 20, verse 8. Let's get another witness. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shall work, 6 days shall not labor, and do all thy work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord. Thy God in it thou shalt do any work, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gate. That's 2 witnesses. The 7th day. Not the 4th day. The moon is treated as the 4th day. The new moon at that. It was the first moon, it was the newest moon out. It was created that day, the 4th day. And right here in Exodus chapter 20, it says, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou work, and do all thy labor. So, again, another witness, the 7th day of the week. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 5. Deuteronomy chapter 5 and verse 12. Keep the 7th day to sanctify it, as the Lord thy God hath commanded you. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt do any work. Thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy ox, nor thy ass, nor any of thy cattle, nor the stranger that is within thy gate, thy manservant and thy maidservant may rest as thou rest. So as you can see, everybody is supposed to rest on the 7th day, not the 4th day. End of the debate. It's clear as day. But this debate is not about what's written. This debate is more of pride, more of doctrine, more of what I have been taught is correct, and what you have been taught is not. But as Christians, Hebrew Israelites, God's word is the final and ultimate authority. Some say the King James, some prefer other translations, that's fine. The 66 books, if you got those, you're on the right path, you're on the right track. But as you can see, 3 witnesses to the Sabbath. 6 days shall thou work, and do all thy labor, and the 7th day is the Sabbath. Alright? Now, let's deal with the moon. So, lunar Sabbatarians mean that the moon appoints the Sabbath. Let's actually see what does the moon appoint. Because the moon is for something. Don't get me wrong. The moon is the court. But is it a court for the Sabbath? Let's find out. Let's go to, no, I don't know the word right now. Let's give the definition of the word moon. We're going to go to the Strong's Concordance and give the definition for the word moon. In the Strong's Concordance, The definition for the word moon is Hebrew 3394. Pronunciation, Yaruch. From the same as 3391, the moon. Okay, so as you see, there's one specific word for moon. Now let's see what the specific word for moon is. Let's see what another, hold on. Actually, let's go back to Genesis, because the brother went to Genesis, he went to Stephen, and the Moab is appointed for appointed times. Let's get the definition again. The Hebrew word 4150 is Moab, from 3259, properly an appointment, that is a fixed time or season, specifically festival, conventionally a year, by implication an assembly, as convened for a definite purpose, technically the congregation by extension the place of meeting, also a signal, appointed beforehand, appointed time, place of solemn assembly, congregation, set solemn feast, appointed dues, season, solemn synagogue, time, appointed. So as you can see, the word Moed is for appointed times, and also for seasons, and for years, and for months. The moon. The moon is for months, not weeks. We're dealing with the weekly Sabbath. We're dealing with a 7-day continuous cycle from creation. The moon set it up from day one. The Sabbath was set from day 7. Now, let's go to Isaiah 56. Since we know that the moon now is for months and not for weekly Sabbath, let's go to Isaiah 56. Isaiah 56 and 23. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come worship before me, saith the Lord. So as you can see, there's a separation from the moon and the Sabbath. The Sabbath is separate from the moon because it's a weekly cycle. The moon is for months. The beginning of the month, when the light starts, the first light starts to come through the moon, that's the new moon, which is also a solemn day, a high holy day. But is it a weekly holy day? No. Let's get the definition for the word Sabbath in Isaiah 56 and 23. It's the Hebrew word Shabbat, and centered from the Hebrew word is 76, 73. And the mission that is specifically the Sabbath, every Sabbath. Let's give the definition for the word moon in Isaiah 63. Isaiah 66 and 23. Again, Isaiah 66 and 23. In the definition, the moon is the Hebrew word H2320 Kodesh, the new moon, by implication, a month, new moon. Not weekly Sabbath, not Sabbath, but Kodesh, by implication, a new moon. The moon is for months. And here in Isaiah 56, there's a clear distinction between the moon and the weekly Sabbath. Because it says from one new moon to another shall all flesh come to worship. And to Sabbath shall all flesh come to worship before me as well. So as you can see, there's a difference between the moon and the weekly Sabbath, which was established from creation, the 7th day of the week. Alright? Let's go to Leviticus 23. We're going to be in here a lot today, folks, so be prepared. So it's coming. Leviticus 23. We're going to deal with these appointed times that moon Sabbatarians say that the moon governs. Leviticus 23 and 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them concerning the feast of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, even these are my feasts. Alright? Verse 3. 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest and holy convocation. Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Lord, and not his dwelling. So as you can see, he names the Sabbath first. He never says it's a feast day. It's a weekly Sabbath, and Let's go to verse 23. Let's go to verse 4. These are the feasts of the Lord. So after verse 22, where he says 6 days shall thou work and do all that labor, then he gives the Sabbath. In verse 4, the separation is right here. These are the feasts of the Lord. The Sabbath was already named. Now he's going into the feast days from verse 4. These are the feasts of the Lord, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons. In their what? The seasons. That word season is the Hebrew word moed. Brother is absolutely correct. The moon is for some appointed time. Some of those appointed times are the feast days and the high holy days of the new moon, or the new moon day, as our Hebrew forefathers used to rest upon and used to observe. So the moon does appoint some things, but the weekly Sabbath, it does not appoint. Thank you.
All right, once again, you're now locked in to the Big Talk Free Radio. The title of the show, Does the Moon Govern the Sabbath? Does the Moon Govern the Sabbath? The number is 646-716-7320. That's 646-716-7320. I see people already pressing that number 1. That's good. Securing a spot. So when you get to the public Q&A, they can ask their questions in order. Once again, if you know you're going to have a question, make sure you press number 1, because we have a lot of people that's pressing number 1 right now. So you want to secure your spot to be heard live on the Big Talk for you. Press the number 1, and I'll definitely go down in order and take your questions. All right, so right about now, we're in a rebuttal part of this debate. That's going to be 10 minutes each. We're going to go back to Yashab and Israel. Let me open up the phone line. Let me set up the timer, and you can go ahead, brother.
The brother is talking in circles. He is saying that the moon don't appoint the time. Then he says the moon do appoint the time. Then he said seven. The word established is 7. Then when he went to the dictionary, the word was Shabbat. And the word Shabbat is 7. Sabbath is not 7. You cannot go to a store in Israel and ask for Shabbat apples, Shabbat Tippawah. You can't ask for Shabbat apples and get 7 apples, because Shabbat do not mean 7. For it means an intermission. It means to cease. It means to rest. Now, if we go to Jeremiah, the 31st chapter, and the 33rd verse, according to the Hebrew Tanakh, it says, "Thus saith the Lord, who established the sun for light by day, the laws of the moon, and the stars for light by night, who stirs up the sea unto rolling waves, whose name is the Lord of hosts. If these laws should ever be annulled by me, declares Yahweh, then only then will the offspring of the children of Israel cease to be a nation before me for all time." Now, what's key here is that the book specifically says that the moon has laws. We see that in Psalms, the woman that it specifically says in Hebrew to allow the moon to take charge, or to have charge of the moon to govern the Sabbath. It is clear that the English came from the Hebrew and not the other way around. So the Hebrew takes precedence here. Now, when we talk about the laws of the moon, or the ordinance of the moon, the laws, the governance of the moon, did you not know that every quarter moon, the very seed, ocean, and it's called a neap tide, and this tide, it causes all the waters around the world to be at rest, according to the scriptures. See, the scriptures will tell you. The scripture will tell you about the signs. The scripture there, he said the signs that are in the heavens, the signs that are governed by the law. One would say that the book does not say that, but your English book, which is very mistranslated, does not say that. The Hebrew book does. And if you are a Hebrew, you should go by what what the original Hebrew book says. You know, the brother says things like Shabbat 97, and it does not. In fact, the scripture basically right here in the book of Jeremiah told us that when we stop allowing the moon laws and ordinances, you know, we stop taking charge of this, then will we see it to be a nation. Did you not know that the same Hebrew word for captivity is the same word for Shabbat? Why is that? Because when we failed to keep the true Shabbat, we immediately fell off into captivity, because any nation of people that governs the time simply governs the world, governs the people. The Most High knew exactly what he was doing. He told us to look into the heavens, because those were the signs, the ot. That's what it says in Hebrew, the signs. You know, he said that they exist in Hebrew. It says that they're Yahiru. They exist in the heavens for signs, to let you know who and what governs the day and the night, what governs the time and the twisting. The twisting of what? The twisting of the earth around the moon. The Shinnah, the return of what? The year. The return from around the sun. This is the oldest system of time that has been recorded. You have, in the oldest Jewish encyclopedias, you have these people specifically stating that the moon governs the original Sabbath. And it was by the hands of the Roman Catholic Pope Gregory who changed it. See, what you got to understand is that your Sabbath is only the seventh day according to the Roman system of time, which is a planetary system of time that has never been in line with the moon, sun, and the stars. It's been revolved around Saturn, which is Baal, which is Satan worship. Did you not know that Rome was called Saturnalia? No Hebrew prior to Rome ever had an observance to the Sabbath. The Sabbath is Kadash, meaning set apart. The Most High Sabbath cannot be the same day Sabbath as Baal. I'm done.
Right, once again, you're locked into the prt1 Radio. The title of this debate: does the moon govern the Sabbath? Does the moon govern the Sabbath? You know the number, 646-716-7320. My special guest is Soundmind and Yasha Ben Yisrael. All right, right now, we're going to go to Soundmind with his rebuttal. That's going to be 10 minutes. We open up his phone line. Then we set up the timer, and you can go ahead, brother.
Okay, thanks again. Tip for all of the listening audience. Here's a tip if you ever really come on debate talk to you. Please use all allowed minutes that you have to defend your standpoint. Because if you don't, it will only hurt you in the end. Again, tip, if you ever come on debate talk to you, please use all the time allowed to get your point across. So, in this rebuttal, we're going to deal with a couple things the brother said. The brother said the moon is for sign. I don't disagree with that. The moon is for a sign. The moon dictates the month. That's how we know when the new month is. That's how we know when to keep our feast days by the moon. I don't disagree with that. He went to the Hebrew word ot, 8:26, if I'm not mistaken, sign. Let's go to Genesis chapter 4 and 15, please. Again, Genesis chapter 4 and verse 15. Now, I don't know if the brother knew this, but the word sign in Mark is synonymous. Don't believe me? Let's find out. This is Genesis 4 and 15. And the Lord said unto him, therefore whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him. Let's see what that word mark is in the book of Genesis chapter 4 and verse 15. Again, that word mark is, bear with me, I'm on my e-sword. Here we go. That word mark in the Hebrew is ark. Probably from 8 to 25. In the same sense, appearing a signal, as a flag, a beacon, a monument, fountain, prodigy, evidence, mark, miracle, ensign, token. God put an ark on king. Ark is synonymous with sign. It can be used as sign as well. The Hebrew word is 8:226, as the brother said. It's right, it's a sign, but that's the Hebrew word, the sign. Cain had a sign. Cain had a mark. Brothers and sisters, the moon does not govern the weekly Sabbath. Once again, the moon does not govern the weekly Sabbath. Cain had a sign, the moon is a sign as well. Now, the brother went to the Jewish encyclopedia and said, one of the oldest Jewish encyclopedias say that the Roman Catholic Church changed the Sabbath. Well, I'm not praising this capitalistic system or none of the colleges within it. But the college I go to, the Church University, we are not allowed to cite sources without giving dates and references to those sources. Now, if the brother would like to give us a date for that oldest Jewish encyclopedia with that passage in it, I would like for him to do so, because he said he's a college student as well. But the Jewish encyclopedia that I read upon and actually seen that same thing was from the 1700s. That's not that old, brothers and sisters. The 1700s. The Jews were keeping Sabbath way before the 1700s. And there's tons of historical references, tons of sources that claim this as well. Now, he is right. The Roman Catholic Church did try to switch the Sabbath. They did. And you can find this in the, one second. And you can find this in the book of Constantine and the Council of Nicaea in 321 AD, changed the Sabbath to Sunday. The Jews were keeping what we properly know as Saturday, which was the seventh-day Sabbath. Because we know that the Roman Catholic Church worshipped the sun, and the venereal day of worship was the first day of the week. Sunday, they had a god for every day of the week in their pagan worship. But just because man perverted the seventh day does not mean it takes away God's seventh day. Creation was first. Nothing predates creation, brothers and sisters. The seventh day of the week is the Sabbath. Okay? Now, in 321 AD, way before the 1700s, Constantine tried to change the Sabbath to Sunday. When the Jews were keeping Saturday, to try to integrate the churches because the pagans and the Jews was not getting along. So he tried to switch the day and he made the government make one day of rest for everybody, which was Sunday. But that didn't stop the Jews from keeping their seventh-day Sabbath, as the Romans would say, Saturday. You know, man perverts a lot of things, brothers and sisters, don't get it wrong. I'm not saying up for the Roman Catholic Church. I'm not saying what they did was correct. I'm not saying what they did was right. But they did it anyway. There's nothing we can do about it. It doesn't change the fact that the Most High set up his 7-day weekly cycle from creation, from the beginning. Nothing predates that. Nothing predates creation. Again, nothing predates creation. The 7th day of the week is the Sabbath. Alright? So I dealt with that Jewish encyclopedia nonsense. I dealt with that all. I dealt with that Saturday. Alright? Now, let's go to, let me get my notes here. Let's go to Leviticus. Let's go to Leviticus 23 again. We're going back to Leviticus 23, ladies and gentlemen. I told you we're going to be in here a lot today. This is key to knowing the Most High status, to knowing the Most High holy days and feast days and things of that nature. Because, as he says, the moon is a sign for these things, and I don't disagree with that. I agree 100%. The moon is a sign, and the moon does appoint some Sabbaths. Not the weekly one, though. Again, the moon appoints some Sabbaths, not the weekly Sabbath. For example, in verse 5 of Leviticus 23 and 5, in the 14th day of the first month at even is the Lord's Passover. And on the 15th day of the same month is the Feast of Unleavened Bread. The Lord, for 7 days, you shall eat unleavened bread. In the first day ye shall have a holy convocation, ye shall do no servile work therein. But ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord 7 days, and the 7th day of the holy convocation ye shall do no servile work therein. So as you can see, on these feast days of the Most High, set up the Passover, 14 days, to do no servile work. Now, let's go to verse 17. Let's go verse 15. And ye shall come unto you from the morrow after the Sabbath, from the day that ye brought the sheep of the wave offering, 7 Sabbaths shall be complete. Even unto the morrow after the 7th Sabbath, ye shall number 50 days, and ye shall offer a new meat offering unto the Lord. Ye shall bring out your habitation 2 wave loaves of 2 tenths deals, that ye shall be of 9 flowers, that shall be taken with the leaven from the other. So, this is the Pesach count. The Pesach is the Pentecost count, 50 days. Then 7 times 7 is 49. After the day, which is the 1, that's your 1. So you got 1 plus 49 equals 50. Here's your Pesach count right there. 50 days after the Sabbath. So, from the lunar Sabbath period understanding, the Sabbath is from the 8th, the 15th, the 22nd, and the 29th day of the month. How did they get that count? I have no idea. But sometimes the doctrines that be out here, there's no explanation for them. It's just off the wall. But as we can see, first let's start off with the count. 8, 15, 22, 29, in 7 days, I have no disagreement with this. But once you get to the 29, you gotta go back to the 8th. So if you were to count 30 days in a month, let's just say 30 days in this moon cycle, there's the 29th day, there's the 30th day, you have the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, and 8th. That's 9 days. 9 days until your next Sabbath. You're missing a Sabbath somewhere here. Either you're missing a Sabbath, or you're not supposed to be keeping the Sabbath on the 8th, the 15th, the 29th, the 8th, 15th, 22nd, and 29th day. When the brother gets a chance, I would like for him to tell us his Pesach count, his 50 count, because for some reason, it's not lining up with the scriptures. When you keep the Sabbath based off the moon, and not 7-day cycle that the Most High established from creation. Thank you.
All right, the number is 646-716-7320. That's 646-716-7320. For one of you that just joined us to the show, welcome to the show, guys. Welcome to the show. The title of the show, Does the Moon Govern the Sabbath? Does the Moon Govern the Sabbath? My special guest is Sound Mind and Yasha Ben Israel. All right, right now the cross-examination part of this debate. Now, this particular part of this debate, each opponent has prepared questions to ask one another. Of course, I ask my special guest to give your opponent ample time to answer the questions. However, if you're not satisfied, you can give a minute reply, and we're going to move on to the next question. And please speak one person at a time so the listening audience and myself can gain full understanding. All right, so let's start off this cross-examination with Brother Yasha asking questions to Sound Mind. Let me open up the phone lines, and Yasha, you can go with your questions, brother.
Truly, I don't have no questions for the brother, because to ask questions signifies that I'm not certain. I have no questions for him.
All right, well, Sound Mind, want to ask questions to the brother? We can move on.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Oh, okay. All right. Brother Yasha, can you please explain your Pesach count for me and the listening audience?
Can you explain what?
The Pesach count, your Pentecost count, your 50-day count from the...
It is the same as yours. Because actually, see, your count goes by the Jewish count, which goes by the Jewish calendar, which goes by the Jewish moon. See, so by going by the Jewish moon, all of your feast days fall in line with the moon. Every one of them I keep. It is your feast day that is Sabbath that is the only one that out of sync with the moon. You ask me, where do I get my Sabbath being on the 8th day of the moon, not month, because the month is a European concept. The word month did not exist. For the word month is actually, the root word of month itself is word moon. When we go back to the laws and the ordinances of the moon, everything is in the cycle of a 28, 29-day cycle of the moon. Even the woman's menstrual cycle, which is determined by those same rays and waves of the waters that Jeremiah talked about. Those same waters, the gravitational pull from the moon, controls the woman's menstrual. That's why the cycle is called the menstrual cycle pertaining to the moon.
That's not my point.
Are you not willing to explain your 50-day count to the listening audience?
I just explained it to you. It is the same as yours. It's the same as you explained it. What more do you want from me?
Y'all have to move on.
You want no different? What is different is not the 50-day count, my brother. What is different is the Sabbath.
Hold on, Yasha. I'm about to say we're going to go to the next question. All right, so that's not mine.
Okay, thank you. Well, just for the record, the brother did not want to do his stop count for the listening audience, but that's fine.
I gave it to you, Aki.
We can move on. I'm moving on. I'm getting to my next question. Trust me.
You can let it lie. I gave it to you. It's the same as yours. You want to know different?
I asked my question. You said
you're calling me wrong. I'm not wrong.
Yeah, let's move on to the next question, Yasha. You're going to move on to the next question. Yes, what's your next question?
All right, so can you show us in the scriptures where the Most High said you shall keep your Sabbath from moon 6 days after the moon? Can you show us anywhere in scripture where it reads you should keep your Sabbath 6 days after the new moon?
6 days after the new moon.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, 6 days after the new moon. Okay, if the new moon would be day 1, 6 days after the new moon, what day would that fall on? Would that fall on the 8th day?
No, that's right.
Okay, I'm not going to ask you no question. I'll tell you. 6 days after the new moon would fall on the 8th day, according to Hebrew cosmology, I.e. You said it, the 8th, the 15th, and I'll show you a scripture. Let us go to that Leviticus 23, 39. It says, on the 8th day shall be a Sabbath. Then we go to Exodus 16, where it must be understood that you won't find no man in the scripture prior to Exodus 16 keeping the Sabbath. Moses was the first man that the Most High gave the Sabbath to, and he gave him the Sabbath on the 15th day of the moon. Or the month. Because even you said the Hebrew moon and month is the same. You see? Okay. So on the 15th day of the moon, let me give it to you. On the 15th day of the moon, the Most High told him for 6 days shall you gather the manna. That's 6 days. On the 7th day you shall rest. 7 days after that was 15.
Thank you. Now, can we go to 1 Samuel, please? Since you believe that 6 days from the new moon is the 8th day,